Hello friends, welcome to episode 11 of my blind playthrough of Planescape Torment. So, last episode in our search for the marketplace, where we have a couple of quests that we need to do, we stumbled into the Smoldering Corpse Bar, which seems to be one of the more important places in this game. And there are a lot of people here, which I've been having a lot of interesting conversations with, and that is by no means over, so sit back and enjoy my conversation with everyone else here for the next 50 or so minutes. Alright. So we have just finished speaking with these two Abishai about our past friendship, because we apparently knew them in the past, and we learned a lot of interesting things about the different planes of existence, the Blood War, and etc. But I won't go into any details, recapping anything. Let's just continue. So, right away, this character is just named O, which definitely grabs my eye. So let's talk to them. You see a man standing stock still. He isn't moving a muscle. On closer examination, it appears that he isn't even breathing, just standing. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Contained within their bounds is a flat grey light that seems to dance with possibility. Looking into the sockets, the eerie, empty feeling of a limitless void shivers through you, as if you had gazed into a sliver of eternity. Ooh. The head slowly swivels toward you. You notice that no muscles appear to move under his skin as he turns, and he speaks in a pure, bell-like tone. Well met, wanderer. You have forgotten again, haven't you? Wow. It might be too early for earth-shattering conversations like this one. This guy is definitely no human. What is he? Limitless void, sliver of eternity, bell-like tone. If I had to guess, if I had to take a wild guess, I would say I'm speaking to one of the gods, or a representative of a god. Do you know me, stranger? As he opens his mouth, you get that feeling of eternity again. Inside his mouth you see no tongue, no teeth. It's almost as if this man wears shells surrounding an illimitable expanse. I have spoken with you before, and always you forget. Your endless quest to rediscover yourself ends always in your amnesia. You draw close to the truth and recoil. Let us hope that you have the strength to endure your existence. Whoa. So, this guy seems to know me better than I know myself. Endless quest to discover myself always ends in my amnesia. I draw close to the truth and recoil because I'm afraid of the truth. Because the truth is somehow inapproachable to me for whatever reason. Let us hope that you have the strength to endure your existence. I need strength to endure my existence, huh? What do you know of me? How do you know all of this? I know that you, like a fly, rise up from the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time and curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the pain, seeking the light without any plan to your actions, and fall exhausted when you fail. You alight on others to feed from them for a time, and move on with no regard to them. I have watched you come here and listen to your words, and watched you move away no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, Seeker? Wow, you know me almost too well. I mean, bumble about the pain, seeking the light without any plan to your actions. That essentially describes like the first 10 episodes of this playthrough. But Feed from them for a time. Move away no wiser. Learn from your mistakes. I'm not gonna say the first line. That's stupid. This person, question mark, clearly knows way more than I do, so all of those options are stupid except for the second one, right? Who are you? I am O. For some reason, when he speaks his name, it sounds like he's speaking of much more than a single letter, as if the speaking of his name contained untold possibilities and nuances. No human tongue could ever create such a sound. What sort of a name is that? It is my name. It is the name of a portion of eternity. I am a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am writ in the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysic. Wow. Lots of thoughts. Okay, first off, there is no O in eternity, so it's not, your name is not the portion of eternity. But on a serious note, the divine alphabet, understanding existence. I was right. This guy is one of the gods, right? That's what it looks like to me. Also, the idea of a true name, right? So I'm familiar with this concept in some cultures that that names have a lot of power, right? For example, knowing the name of a demon can. Am I getting this right? Yeah, I think so. Knowing the real name of a demon can give you power over them. And actually, the concept is that knowing someone's true name in general gives you a power over them. So beings use false names or just names that they made up for themselves in order to protect their true name. Because once again, names have power. That's a really fascinating concept, and I think that that's what they are touching on here. Writ in the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. Mathematic, organic, metaphysic. So you are basically you exist in all the realms of existence, right? In the organic, maybe like the physical plane, which is probably a term I shouldn't be using in a game like Planescape, where that has a very specific meaning, but also in a metaphysic, let's say, dimension, right? Something extra physical, and then also mathematic, which I guess it represents like the abstract principle, right? That's different from both the physical and the metaphysical. That's I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily different from the metaphysical, but I guess that it depends on your theory of existence. So yeah, abstract, physical, and metaphysical is what I'm reading this as. So he encompasses all of these dimensions of existence. So what does that mean? The divine alphabet is writ in the name of everything that exists, from the seed at the hearts of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. From the seed at the hearts of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. So the great beyond, another name for a place of eternal rest, for something behind the veil. My brothers, sisters, a single word translates into the two in your mind. Oh, that's great. I love language details like that. My brothers, sisters, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept and the unimaginable. You are not just like a minor god. You are God with capital G, right? Is what I would say if he didn't tell me that his brothers, sisters share this essence of his. You know, I can't help but wonder though, What are you doing at this bar if you are existence itself, it sounds like? Thought and reality and concept and the unimaginable. What's the difference between thought and concept? I don't really perceive much difference between these two. Maybe they are just meant to be synonyms, but they are kind of oddly positioned in that sentence to be like that, I think. And the unimaginable, though, that's cool. Okay, tell me about yeah, so what are you doing here is a great question to ask. But tell me about the great beyond, please. You would not understand. No mortal possibly could. It is beyond the powers of comprehension of all but the most powerful of powers, and once they understand, they move beyond the veil of mortal comprehension. I can explain it no more than that. Perhaps sometime you will understand. Once they understand, they move beyond the veil of mortal comprehension. So, by definition, the great beyond is something exclusive, something that doesn't really work with the concept of mortal comprehension. If you have only mortal comprehension, you don't understand it. And if you understand it, you no longer have merely mortal comprehension. So, what are you doing here? Why, I am watching the ebb and flow of mortality. Cool, that sounds like a fun thing to do. And what do you see? You mortals are like wasps. You build your lives' nests from the slimmest of branches, and when the wind shakes your home life free, you seek to sting the wind to death. Instead of realizing your foolish mistakes, attempting to repair the damage you have caused yourselves and learning from your experience, you bring harm to any who have the misfortune to blunder near you in your time of pain and distress. My advice to you, and to all mortals, stop acting like an insect and start acting sentient. Man, every line that this guy delivers is like a whole package that you can unravel and dive into and just spend like a half hour reflecting on, at least. Wasps, lives nests. You build it from the slimmest of branches, and when the wind shakes your life free, sting the wind to death. So, what you're saying is, I mean, he also says it in plain English, right? Instead of realizing your foolish mistakes, you bring harm to any who have the misfortune to blunder near you. So you basically act out. You blame everyone else for your own mistakes. Is essentially what he's saying, right? The universe happens to you. The circumstances in the universe are unfavorable to you, and for that you basically place the blame on everyone else. And he's saying that's insect-like behavior. You should start acting sentient because you are sentient creatures. Well, I'll think about that. In the meantime, answer some more questions for me. What is it you wish to know? Yes, I'm gonna ask all of them. What was that you were saying about a divine alphabet? That sounded so interesting. The divine alphabet is writ in the name of everything that exists, from the seed at the hearts of the elemental planes to the cores of the great beyond. I've already read this one, isn't it? But I did not ask. What? Then that means you know all the secrets of existence, doesn't it? I know parts of many of them. Without a connection to my brothers, 'I am but a letter. Alone I am a symbol. Combined, we are language and power. Ah, see. Okay, so you literally are the letter O, is what you're saying. It's not just like a name that you use for yourself. No. Without a connection to my brothers sisters, I am but a letter. But joined with your brothers sisters, you are an entire word, is what you're saying. Alone, I am a symbol. Combined, we are language and power. Right, and language is power, and words are power because words have meanings, and meanings are also power in this world, right? It's not like in real life where language evolved as a sort of means to communicate, as an basically evolved ad hoc, right? Without any designer or planner. I mean, depends on your religious persuasion, of course, but from my viewpoint, language basically evolved like that. I think there's a really good book I read on this. It's called The Language Game. I think it came out in 2017 or something. Anyway, it's a really good book by two linguists who sort of talk about theories of how language evolved and try to disprove some of the previously popular ones. And I found it really fascinating. I think I read it twice. So in this world, that's not the case. In this world, language is real in a metaphysical sense. Words are real. Letters are apparently real. And it seems to me now like I'm talking to the literal letter O, while before I was taking it in a more metaphorical sense. Of course, there is presumably more to the letter O than meets the eye, but yeah. So, you don't know the secrets of existence. I did not say that. A letter is still a powerful force, even on its own. Allow me to show you. He opens his mouth wider and wider still. The mask of his face stares around his eyes, mouth, and nose, revealing that hint of eternity you glimpsed earlier. You are lost in it, adrift in it, a part of it. You return to your mundane senses and realize that O has vanished. Yet somehow, your horizons have expanded. Are you telling me that he vanishes and I don't get to ask the rest of my questions? Realize that O has vanished. Yet somehow your horizons have expanded. Enlightenment has brushed you, however briefly, across the brow. Wow, what a feeling. Let me just read this part again. The mask of his face stares around his eyes, mouth, and nose, revealing that hint of eternity. So literally his face goes like splits apart is what I'm reading this as. And I get lost in eternity. Wow, that was indescribable. I have gained one wisdom, but I have lost the most fascinating conversation partner so far. Please tell me I will get to meet O at some later point in the game. You know, I'm honestly tempted to reload a save just to talk to him some more. I won't do it, but this was a really cool conversation. Okay, I think I'm starting to get really fascinated by this game. It just plays to the things I'm interested in, you know? Mostly philosophy and philosophical reflection. I'm not particularly interested in death and stuff like that, or amnesia, but they are fascinating topics. It's just that I have no special affinity for them outside of them being in the realm of philosophy. These sturdy pylons support the ramshackle roof. So I have several options on who to talk to, but it's gonna have to be Dak'kon, right? Because, yeah. I figure this is gonna be another super enlightening conversation, right? The way people talk about this character. And again, I've seen only small glimpses, but I got a sense that this is someone I definitely want to meet. The man before you is old. His dry yellow skin has the scars of one who has traveled everywhere and never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular, and his ears sweep out from his skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic, and a strange shimmering blade is strapped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive, made of some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Ooh, that's gotta be a cool-looking blade. Greetings. The man turns to you, his eyes like polished coal. He stares through you, and for a moment you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead flat black, mirroring the man's eyes. This is almost scary. Are you all right?
Hail, traveler.
He says nothing for a moment, merely searches your face with his eyes. Hail, traveler. His voice is quiet and somber, like a wind whispering through the branches of a great tree. Hail.
Your eyes have the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
The man meets your gaze, his eyes burrowing into yours. His weapon drains of its black color, resuming its shimmering you noticed before you spoke to him. You could say that. The man's gaze does not waver from yours. I am known as Dak'kon. The emphasis he places on the word known strikes you as odd, yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. I do not know myself. That is for the best. In knowing yourself, there would be little in the plains left worth knowing. He falls silent for a moment, still studying you with his coal-black eyes. I would know why you have come to this city. Interesting, the emphasis he places on the word know. It sounds like knowing is this sort of essentially important thing to him, right? Which again brings me back to philosophy and epistemology and stuff like that. Know why you have come to this city. I'm sure he will get into how knowledge works and why we know stuff, right? I'm looking for answers. I have many questions. Speak your questions. I will hear you. You seem to place a special emphasis on knowing. What do you mean? All things, whether structure or flesh, their existence is defined by their knowing of themselves. And if a man does not know himself, such as I, when a mind does not know itself, it is flawed. When a mind is flawed, the man is flawed. When a man is flawed, that which he touches is flawed. Dak'kon pauses. It is said that what a flawed man sees, his hands make broken. You are sending mixed signals here, Dak'kon. Before you said that if I knew myself, there would be little worth knowing. But he also says that a mind should know itself. I'm sure he means different things, but the way he puts it is kind of strange to me. Well, I guess I really don't want to be a flawed man, according to this logic. It's an interesting one, isn't it? So for him, knowledge is essentially the root of, well, not the good, because he doesn't use the word, but maybe something like perfection, right? Because if you don't know, then you are flawed and you do flawed stuff, and flaws are the opposite of perfection. So in order to be perfect, you have to perfectly know, you have to understand something. Am I reading that right? Do you know yourself, Dak'kon? Dak'kon falls silent. His coal-black eyes take on the same instance that you noticed when you first spoke. He doesn't seem to want to answer that question, does he? The same distance, I noticed. I mean, it almost sounds like he's diving deep into himself, or diving deep into whatever, some other plane of existence, or some realm of knowledge, to see if he knows himself. It could be that no one's ever asked him a question like this before, or maybe he just doubts the answer perennially. I ask again, do you know yourself? When Dak'kon speaks again, his voice has changed. His words echo like a great stone dropped into a chasm. It looks like he is forcing the words from his chest. It is not my will that you know this. I think I see the conflict. Since he sees knowledge as absolute good, or perfection as I put it, he believes that he should never deny anyone knowledge, right? That he should always answer truthfully, never lie, but also never withhold information. But I asked him a profoundly personal question, which he is clearly uncomfortable answering. And so he is forced to respond, I don't want you to know, which of course is a contradiction for him, right? So he hates himself for answering like this. And up until now, he has been emphasizing the word no. But now it's will. It is not my will that you know this. Now he's bringing will into the question. Or into the conversation. Do I want to press him? Perhaps I was being too kind phrasing this as a question. Tell me, if you know yourself. The words come out of Dak'kon slowly, as if they are being carried one by one. It has come to pass that I do not know myself. And you are clearly devastated by that, because to you knowledge is so important, but if you are flawed, then everything you touch is flawed. And everything that's flawed is broken, right? That was the line of thought. You do not know yourself. Why is that? Dak'kon's voice drops to a whisper like sand. I do not know why. I know it has happened, but I know not the how, nor the when, nor how to know myself once more. So, what you're saying is your whole existence is crumbling before your eyes. Your belief system is essentially shattered. Well, not the system itself, but your existence, according to your belief systems, is flawed and shattered. Well, I mean, this guy is clearly about to become one of my companions. So I think that, you know how companions have personal quests often. I think his personal quest will be to know himself once more, whatever that means. Well, I had some other questions as well. Speak your questions. I will hear you. Your features are unfamiliar to me. What are you? I guess it's kind of a rude question to ask, but, you know, it must be a common one in a world like this where there are all sorts of races that you've never seen before. So yeah, your features are unfamiliar. What are you? A Githzerai. Oh, you are a Githzerai. Yeah, I can actually, I can see that. didn't really take a good look at you before. To be honest, you are standing facing with your back face to me. So a Githzerai is one of the people. One of the people. Could you be more specific, please? A Githzerai. Yes, but what are the Githzerai exactly? Ah, I see. Never mind, I'll say it afterward. Dak'kon is silent for a moment, then speaks. Our history does not need to be made known to you. We would bleed to death on Time's blade before I recited a fraction of the histories of our people. So, what I want to say is, it seems to me like this guy has this belief to always share information, or rather to never lie, to never mystify, right? He hasn't told me that that's the case, but that's what I assume based on everything he has said so far. And it seems to me that he prefers to give short and kind of meaningless answers to betraying either his belief system or betraying his people. What I'm getting at here is that he purposefully gave these two non-answers because he wanted me to stop asking about this, but when I pressed him, he had to think about it. He might not be... It could be that he's not comfortable. Maybe he doesn't know maybe he isn't as sure that he knows something as much as he would like. Now, this is probably not the case, right? He probably knows the histories of his people. This is the case of him not being willing to share. But what I'm saying is there might come an instance where he doesn't want to answer my question because he simply doesn't want to face the fact that he doesn't know. Could that be the case? Well, I don't need to know your histories, Dak'kon, but I would know of your people as they are now. Dak'kon is silent for a moment. Know this, and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of Limbo. With a deft motion, Dak'kon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. Well, the Limbo. So, Limbo is obviously like this religious concept of a place where unbaptized souls go if they committed no sins of their own, right? Or that's not exactly right. Unbaptized souls of babies, right? Because they don't have the rational faculty to commit sin in the first place. So we are taking the concept of the Limbo, but it is described as the shifting plane, which reminds me of how his eyes and his sword shift colors, right? And also now he's slipping his blade from his back and holding it. So let's watch and see what happens. He did some animation which I didn't catch. There, we mold the matter of Limbo with our minds. We forge cities with our thoughts. As you watch, a series of rippling waves of metal begin to roll forth from the center of the blade. The pitch and crest of the waves match the inflections in Dak'kon's voice. Oh, that is such an insanely interesting image. Ooh. Rippling waves of metal from the center of the blade, matching the inflections in Dak'kon's voice. Whew. In its chaos we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. We are the Githzerai. What is that blade you have? It moved, shifted in response to your voice. It is a Karak blade. It is an object that lets others know the rank of the wielder. Huh. Karak, or Karak. What does that mean? Dak'kon falls silent for a moment, as if searching for the correct words. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why he is being so precise with his words. He doesn't want to lie. He doesn't want to misrepresent reality. In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. Whew. So cool. The people... Well, he means the Githzerai, right? I don't think I need to ask that. But maybe he doesn't. I'll ask this first. Shape it with their thoughts. Karak is not shaped by heat, but by knowing oneself. It is a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on its surface and in its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder and stronger than steel. When one does not know themselves, the blade is as water, formless and weak. I gotta say that's I know I keep repeating it, but that's just such a cool concept. Like, I wish I had come up with that. Are you willing to sell it? That's not even the right question to ask. Yeah, he also said that the sword signifies the rank of the wielder, which is also interesting. So I'm going to ask, what rank does the blade signify? The blade is a symbol carried by the Zerth. A Zerth is one who knows the words of Zerthimon. In knowing the words of Zerthimon, they know themselves. Zerthimon. Zerthimon founded our race. He knew the Githzerai before they knew themselves. He defined the people. He gave them one mind. One mind, you say? You're not saying what I think you're saying. You don't all share one big mind, right? Interesting mention, but I'll wait for him to explain further before I start theorizing, because, I mean, one mind really just evokes the idea of one gigantic hive mind. We are in the hive. One gigantic hive mind that this whole race shares, but I don't know, that doesn't really sound right to me, but maybe it is. So Zerthimon founded the race of Githzerai. By the way, how do you found a race? That's so interesting. Asking for a friend. How do you found a new race of people? He knew the Githzerai before they knew themselves. I'm going to ask about Karak again, right? And the people, just to clarify. You mean the Githzerai, okay. And you say that the Githzerai can shape this Karak with their thoughts. Right, yeah, he has already told us this. Okay, this is super cool. So the concept of a companion with a warrior that gets more effective, a warrior with a weapon that gets more effective the more at peace, or the more, what's the word I'm looking for here? I have no idea what I'm even looking for here. The more, I don't know, at peace with themselves, I guess, is what I want to say. The more at peace with themselves the warrior is, the stronger the weapon gets. This concept is so fascinating. I had some other questions. Can you tell me about this city? It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as the city that does not know itself. Ooh. So this must be like the worst kind of place for the people. This must be something that they view as complete and utter heresy, for lack of a better word. It doesn't know itself. What do you mean? The city exists, but it does not know itself. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed. You speak as if the city is alive. That is true. You know what? Yeah, you speak as if the city is alive. It may not be aware and know itself in the sense that you or I might know ourselves, but it lives. It grows, changes, and touches the minds of all that live here. So now we're, again, using knowledge in a more metaphorical sense, which I guess he was already using that, right? He was already doing that, but It seems to me that it's very hard to pinpoint what he even means by knowledge. And I suspect that we will spend this entire game trying to figure that out and not quite getting it even in the end, right? Because for him it's just this all-encompassing concept, right? So there is something such as collective knowledge. Actually, that kind of ties into the one mind theory of the Githzerai race that I had, right? Or that he mentioned, I guess. So knowledge is not something that only individual creatures or individual sentient creatures have, but something that's even more abstract entities have, something almost mystical, right? Why did you say the city does not know itself? The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes, yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps these doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed. Ah, it seeks to be everywhere at once because it's the city of portals to planes of existence, right? So it's separate from the other planes, but it also seeks to take part in all of them. And this is a contradiction. And this means that the city is at odds with itself, which means it doesn't know itself. Okay. When you say the city is everywhere at once, what do you mean? Its walls are doors. And these other two are presumably things that I can say after asking these two questions. So when you say the city is everywhere at once, what do you mean? Oh, well, I guess we'll get back to those options anyway. The city itself is built from doors. These doors lead everywhere. Right. Well, I'm just gonna ask where they are. Even though we kind of know that they are just all over the place. They are everywhere. Dak'kon falls silent for a moment. It is said that every bounded space within this city is a door that leads elsewhere. I don't understand. That's almost a sinful thing to say. I don't understand, right? It's just a thought. He would view that as something of an imperfection. Imagine the door to the smoldering corpse bar. Remove the door. The frame remains. The space within the frame is still a door. Right, okay. But I walked through that door to get in here. It's just an open space. Many are the doors you never see. You may pass through them as if air and not know them for what they are. They are closed to your sight and touch. Oh wow, that is... I know I'm kind of... I talk a lot in this episode, but I also have these periods of silence where I'm just fascinated by an idea and trying to dive really deeply into it. Apologies if that's a bit boring, but I just find this fascinating. I need to really process this information to give an appropriate reflection, and I don't really want to have to edit that out. So that's just what this is gonna be. Many are the doors you never see. So this is basically an allegory for life, right? Sometimes in life you go through an event, maybe not even realizing that you've gone through that event, but you have entered a different place, you have changed your circumstances, you have somehow entered a new way of existence. They are closed to your sight and touch. Are these invisible doors everywhere in Sigil? It is said every bounded space in Sigil is a door. It is not known for certain. Doors move. Doors change. doors disappear. All are locked. So he's talking about the keys, right? The doors remain as air until you have the key that opens them. When you have the key, the doors will make themselves known to you. You know, up until now, I wasn't really feeling the whole, the place with the many doors, or the place with the many portals thing. I wasn't really feeling like that's super interesting to me, but now my mind is sort of expanding, and I'm just learning to appreciate this, the idea of this, like a place that's connected to every other place, and these doors are shifting and disappearing and changing and moving, and that's so interesting. Yes, the doors will make themselves known to you. How do you know what the key is? Every door has a different key. Some keys are known, others are not known. Well, what are these keys? There are as many keys as there are doors. The keys are not always things of metal. The keys can be the clashing of two swords, a drop of blood drawn from the tongue of a dying man, the memory of a past love, or an angry curse hurled at the sky. When the key and door match, the door reveals itself. Sounds like finding all these keys and doors can be difficult. Such a task has been attempted, but never finished. As the city changes, the doors change. Nothing known remains known for long. Wow. So he's basically just now explaining gameplay things to me, but I find it fascinating the way he just the way it sort of brushes against his personal philosophy of knowing. Why did you say the city is flawed again? Right, opposition with itself. So we basically asked both of these already. So, what if the city is not flawed? A thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are strengths that you cannot see? Or, what if the city is not flawed and you just do not know the reasons for its contradictions? There is order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. Well, these are both very, very, very good points. I think I like number 4 more, though. Do I? I don't know. Number 3 is very good as well, because contradictions could be strengths very well. But I suspect that he will not accept this answer as easily as he would accept this one, because this one just implies that he needs to change himself, whereas this implies that he needs to change his belief system, and belief systems are notoriously difficult things to change, right? So, what if the city is not flawed and you just do not know the reasons for its contradictions? There is order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. Hang on, show more. What does that mean? Ah, okay. Other options to get me to, to the other options. Yeah. Let's do number 4. To your question, a question. What if the city is flawed and you see its contradictions all around you? Well, to your question, a question. You claim this city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests you are flawed and that you do not search for knowledge but only for a convenient answer. Ooh, that's a sick burn right there. The nameless one is pretty smart to come up with an answer like that, I gotta say. Dak'kon falls silent. There is no knowing the answer to the questions we have asked. Yet the city exists. That is all. Yet I would maintain that we know ourselves by the questions we ask and the ones we do not, if we cease asking questions and accept only what we can perceive. Ooh. Then we will cease to know ourselves. Dak'kon's voice has changed slightly, become heavier. Such words have been spoken before. I have heard them and know them. Where have you heard them exactly? The words are mine. Once I knew them and knew their meaning. I had forgotten them until you spoke. Dak'kon's gaze travels through you and his blade stops shimmering, bleeding of all color, until it is translucent. There is a moment of silence, then Dak'kon looks up at you. I would travel the path with you. I accept. An extra blade would be welcome.
Your path is mine.
Your path is mine. Strangely enough, his voice seems distant, and it echoes as if he was speaking from across a great distance. Very well, let's go. Wow. I gotta say, I absolutely loved that conversation. I've heard people say that the writing of Planescape Torment can be pretentious, but if this is what pretentiousness looks like, then that's what I enjoy. I love a video game that can make me think deeply about stuff, and this one just really seems to do that just right. The closest thing to this that I have played, like I said before, was Disco Elysium. But I did not appreciate the philosophy of the game as much as I appreciated the language, the use of words, the way it's written. Although there was, of course, a lot to think about, right? And maybe I do need to revisit Disco Elysium. It has been a few years since I've played it. But this game, so far, it's I've done very little traditional RPG stuff so far, right? Like I have so many open quests, but I've done like one or two maybe so far, and I spend the entire episodes just walking around and talking to the characters. But that's I don't know. It feels like the right way to play it to me. I'm sure at some point we will exhaust a lot of our options with meeting characters, and we will dive more into the quests and the like, but at this point this is just getting to know the world of this game, and the philosophy of this game is so fascinating. Let's see if I can read my journal. Now it doesn't seem like anything in this episode or the previous one updated my journal, which is interesting. But I guess I didn't really accept any quests today, and only quests seem to appear in the journal. So let's finally read the entry of Dak'kon. Dak'kon is a Githzerai, one of the tight-lipped people of Limbo. His skin is yellow and lined. He appears to be old, and pain haunts his small black eyes. He carries a blade of a strange metal. To be honest, the metal doesn't really seem that strange in this representation. And I'm not completely sure if he seems old to me either. I don't see any wrinkles or anything like that. I guess the mouth shape is well, that's the thing. I don't really know what Githzerai look like, so it could be just the normal mouth shape of a Githzerai, right? Anyway, I think I can't really top that conversation with anything, so I think I'll end the episode here. A bit of a shorter one today, sorry, but I think it was well worth it. Alright, thank you for joining me. I've been Savle, and I'll see you in episode 12. Bye.